Boy, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday it was 70 degrees. Woke up this morning, it was 55 degrees. And here it is 10 o'clock and it's 32 degrees. And we're gonna get even colder, and then it's gonna snow and it's gonna be messy. And so I'm gonna fill the water tank up before all that happens and make sure it's topped off and just do my normal chores. But man, I hate it when it's this cold and windy. It's just, oh, I guess I don't hate it. I think what happened was in one day I got used to the warmer temperatures. So here I am back to hating the cold. So I've been thinking, you know, I've been talking to you while I'm doing my chores, and it seems like people really enjoy this kind of method of video. But I normally don't talk politics or anything in this channel. I'm not really trying to talk politics. I'm talking about freedom, which is what I think I talk about a lot here on this channel. The freedom to live on this piece of property. Everybody leaves me alone. Missouri's a really good place to live off-grid. Missouri's a really good place to build a tiny house. It's just a lot of freedoms here. Here recently, freedom has been in the news quite a bit. Specifically the Canadian trucker route. They sat out there for 3 weeks in like negative 30-degree temperatures. The Prime Minister Trudeau did everything he could to stop this. Well, the first thing he did was he acted like a coward, and he hid in his bunker for, I don't know, a couple weeks, a week, I don't know. And then he did a real Star Wars thing. And he, if anybody watches Star Wars, Palpatine granted himself emergency powers. And Anakin's wife said, "This is how democracy dies," in a thunderous applause. Well, that's exactly what happened in Canada. I don't know if they were actually ever a democracy. You read their laws, and they don't have a lot of freedom. So they went over there, and 50,000 truckers protest, stayed there 3 weeks. It really looked like an amazing thing. And it got the entire world to wake up, and millions of dollars donated. Even when one of the donation GoFundMe said, okay, we're not going to donate, so they gave the money away. I don't know what they did with it. And then another site picked it up, Give, Send, Go, and there was another $10 million, and then there's Bitcoin, and there's just money rolling in left and right. And so Trudeau grants emergency powers to himself. Well, today, I've thought about this a lot in my life. So what did they gain? And what did they lose? So let's look at the pros and cons of what they gain and what they lose. It's called a risk analysis. Me being a businessman, I did risk analysis a lot in my life. The gains are, there's a possibility they'll get what they want from the Prime Minister, Trudeau, which was no mandates. They didn't want mandates. That was the primary thing they wanted. Well, they spent 3 weeks there dealing with all kinds of problems, dealing with the cold and the backlash and the government and the police. And well, then fast forward, he grants himself emergency powers. The police go in, arrest everybody, beat a bunch of them up. Now they're freezing bank accounts. I read one story this morning. A guy not only has a trucking company, but he also has an unrelated business. And the government shut down both businesses. So now his family is suffering, his businesses are suffering, his employees are suffering. Everybody's suffering. And for what? What did they get out of this? In all honesty, what did they get out of it? Well, I don't think they got anything out of it. Mandates still are there. They've lost everything. Trucks, businesses. So the analysis to me was, the risk analysis was, it's too risky. They got their voice heard, but what good did it do? Now, I don't know, maybe the next election will come around and Trudeau will get kicked out of office. That's a possibility. I don't know how Canada laws work. That might be what happens here, you know, if something like that were to happen here. We get to wait around for 4 years and vote him out. And then you just get another tyrant. It doesn't matter which party. They're all tyrants. They all have their own agendas. And again, I don't want to make this too political. I want to make it about freedom. But they all have their own agendas. Lawmakers go up there to do what? Make laws. That's their whole purpose in life, is to make laws. I've never heard of anybody say, I'm an unlawmaker, meaning they're going to unlaw things. Nope, they're just going to make more laws. Voting people out just means you get somebody else is going to just fill in the gap. And then you have this, and I'm big in capitalism. I'm okay with capitalism. But then you get these businesses, it's called crony capitalism. That's not capitalism. When you have politicians, when you're lining politicians' pockets to do you favors, to give you an advantage over the other company, that's not capitalism. So you get these businesses that come in and say, okay, I'll give you millions of dollars if you support my organization. One guy I pick on a lot on my other channel is Ted Cruz. Again, not trying to make this political, but he always says that big tech is censoring conservative voices. But he never does anything about it. What does he do? He gets on YouTube. Well, you know YouTube is lining his pockets. I'm going to bring you in to a Senate hearing. That's your punishment. I'm going to bring you into a Senate hearing and you're going to hear tough words from me. And then next year, nothing happens. Everything stays the same. So if you're a big supporter of Ted Cruz and you're expecting something to happen, nothing's going to happen. He's not going to change anything. Status quo. He's a salesman. He's a car salesman. That's all he is. They're all like that. They're not in it for us. They're in it for themselves and the people who line their pockets. It's like Nancy Pelosi right now is all upset that there's some Congress people in there who want to ban Congress from stock trading. Oh, she's all upset about it. It's both parties line their pockets. And so I always wonder, what is it that it would take to make someone change their mind and say, okay, I can change, I can make effective change. One of the things that are big in America is gun rights, Second Amendment rights. And I hear people talk the big game. They'll take my guns from my dead cold hands. Is that true? If the FBI walked up to your door, there's 5 agents around there, you got your kids in the house, you got your wife in the house, 5 agents, they say, okay, I need your guns. And you say, no, I'm not, you're gonna take them from my dead cold hands, and you pull out your gun, you got 5 agents shooting at you, you die, they live, they take your guns anyways. So what'd you win? What is it that would actually keep the government from taking our guns? Yeah, we vote, but it doesn't do any difference. It really doesn't. We still lose a little bit each year. Every political cycle, we lose more, and we complain, and then we get over it. I remember when Obamacare was a big thing. Oh man, everybody was screaming about Obamacare. Everybody. It was just, oh my goodness. Yet we still have it, and you don't hear anybody talk about it now. Well, I don't get it. What changes? The one thing that has always struck me, back in the 90s, I just got out of the Navy, is Waco, Texas. Waco, Texas, you will recall, I'm sure, Branch Davidians, David Koresh. He was wanted for illegal gun possession. He had guns that he wasn't supposed to have. He pinned himself in the house, and you remember the thing, the FBI came out, and they were out there for days on end. What was it, a month or two? I don't know what it was, I don't remember. Well, it ended up they all died. There's suspicions that the FBI may have had something to do with the fire. The tank came in and rolled in, and there's a lot of documentaries that say that, but without the conspiracy theories, in the end, they all died. Well, first of all, what did David Koresh actually gain by doing it? I'm going to talk both sides of the fence here. Everybody died. Nothing changed as a result of it. Everything's still the way it was. Now, here's what's really interesting is when you talk about David Koresh, they'll say, oh, they're not coming to get my guns. Well, they came to get his guns. Nobody stood in his defense. Nobody. This is going to be the thing that snaps the trigger. I've talked to people about this. If you trick them into saying, oh yeah, I would defend anybody if the government was coming to take their guns, where were you with the Branch Davidians? Well, that's different. Well, why is it different? He's a cult leader. What was he doing that was so treacherous? Well, he's a cult leader. It's not illegal to be a cult leader in this country. It's illegal to, certain things that he may have been doing, but they only had one charge on him, which was gun possession. Nobody stood to his defense because the media and the government said the cult leaders are bad. They're just bad people. When the FBI comes to the door and they say, well, you want your guns, I can almost bet you that nothing's going to happen. What will you gain being dead? They'll make some excuse that you were an evil person and you had illegal guns, or you were a cult leader, or they'd find some dirt on you somehow or another, run your name into the dirt. So what will it take to make a change for the positive? When the colonists made a change, that was the first time in change that actual people were able to go against the government, and it was successful because they band together. The only reason I think that was successful was because the British actually picked up guns against people and started an actual conflict in Boston. And it irated so many people. Why did you pick up guns? Why didn't you arrest them? And the king didn't make any excuses. Yeah, they were misbehaving, so we shot them, and that kind of thing. I'm not discouraging people from speaking out, making sure everybody goes out and votes. I think these things are important. But in the end, are we ever going to gain ground against the government? Now, so the whole point of this video is I think I have found freedom. I guess they can come and try to shut me down somehow or another, but for the moment, I am about as free as I think the government will ever allow me to be. And I'm pretty satisfied with it. So instead of fighting the government, just find the holes in their plan. So if you'll check out this up next box, I'd appreciate it. It takes you over to the other channel. Watch a funny video. So I hope I can inspire you to find your own freedom. Thanks for watching.